welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are introducing our Scallop Treat Box Dog House add-on, and this add-on makes the Scallop Treat Box into a dog house. We also have add-ons to make the treat box into a spring house, a winter house, and a haunted house as well. Here you can see all of the pieces that the die comes with. There's a roof, some siding for the house, a cute little tag in the shape of a dog bone, a door, a dog, some bones, a little bowl, a little bow tie, and a ball as well for the dog to play with. Here is the siding for the house, and you'll see that there's a little embossed line detail that die cuts into your pieces. That's a little guide so that you know where to line up the pieces for your house. So you're going to take the top piece and line it just over that embossed line so that you don't see the embossed line anymore. Then there's that one piece there that's skinnier that doesn't have the embossed line. That's for the very top of the house. So you'll see how those layer together in a second. And you'll see on the short side, it's the same exact thing. You're going to line up with that little embossed line detail so that you don't see it anymore. And then the one without the detail is for the top of the house. I'm going to take the Scallop Treat Box die and die cut that from some chili pepper cardstock, and I'll die cut that twice. The die has some score lines that it embosses into the cardstock, and I'm going to fold along those lines now, along all of those lines, and I'm going to crease them really well with my bone folder. So I'm going to fold in on those little tabs and once again crease them really well. This is some nice thick 100-pound cardstock, so when you crease it well like this, it's really going to have a nice sharp edge and all the pieces are going to kind of attach to each other really nicely. So I'll fold right along the base part, and then we'll fold towards the upper part, and then the very top piece will fold in the other direction. And I've die cut this house out of red because I want it to kind of look like Snoopy's house. So that's the look I'm going for this first version of the treat box that we're going to create. So I repeated that with my other piece, and now I'm going to die cut the siding for my house. So here I've got the ones with the embossed line and then the plain ones and also the roof as well. And so I'm going to die cut those a bunch of times so that I can cover my whole house. So the first thing I'm going to do is take one of those wider pieces that has the embossed line detail, one of the long ones, and I'm going to add a bunch of adhesive to the back of it. And then I'm going to line that up with the bottom of my box. And so what I like to do is I actually like to kind of stand up the box and then attach the piece. That way I know that it's lined up perfectly with the bottom. Now I'm going to take that little embossed line right there and line up my next one just to cover it slightly, and that's going to be the guide as to where to line up all of my panels. And this actually goes really quick once you get started because you're going to line it up right with that embossed line detail, and it's super, super easy. Now that we've layered 4 of them, we're going to take the skinnier piece that doesn't have the embossed line detail and line that up right to the top to be the top of the house. Then we're going to repeat the same idea with the shorter pieces for the shorter side of the box. So I'm going to add some adhesive to the back and kind of stand it up and line it up right against the bottom. And then I'm going to line up all of my pieces with that embossed line, just covering that embossed line slightly, just as a nice guide so I know how to place my pieces on there. And by layering them this way, it really gives the effect and look of shingles, which I think is really, really cool. As you can see, it takes 4 of the embossed pieces and 1 of the skinny pieces to cover each side of the box. That's why the die cut has 2 of them in there, so you don't have to run the die through as many times because it's going to cut a bunch of them for you all at once. So now I'm going to go ahead in fast motion here and cover the other part of the treat box that I did earlier. And so just add my adhesive. I'm going to line up those pieces just like that, and then I'm going to do it on the short side as well. So I'm going to add my bottom piece, and then I can line up each one with that embossed line, and then add my skinnier piece to the top. Once I have all 4 of the sides of the house with the siding on them, I'm going to add some nice strong tape to the base of one of my pieces of the treat box and to all 4 tabs of the treat box. I'm going to take off the liner tape there on the adhesive that's on one of the bases, and I'm going to put them together in kind of a T shape here to start forming the box. Once I've done that, I can go ahead and peel off all of the liner tape on the tabs and attach those tabs as well. And now you can see how we're starting to form this cute little doghouse. One of the things I love about these siding pieces is that you can use them for the doghouse, of course, but they could be really cute with the spring house or winter house additions to kind of give like a log cabin feel or kind of like one of these houses that have the kind of cool detail on the side. So you can use it for the doghouse, but you could use it for spring and winter and haunted houses as well. I've die cut the little door there from some storm cloud cardstock, a bowl from some peacock cardstock, and then a little bone there from some white cardstock, and then also from some paper bag cardstock too. I'm going to add some adhesive to my door, and this time I'm going to be decorating kind of the short side of the box here because that looks even more like Snoopy's house. I'm going to add the little bone there above the door, and then I'm going to tuck my little bone into the bowl there. You'll see the bowl has a little slit so you can put things into it, and it looks so cute with the bone sticking out. And then I can add that to my little doghouse. And I think this turned out just so cute. I love these little gift boxes. They can hold a gift card or treats. They're perfect for someone who has a new dog and also someone who just loves dogs. I made one for my dad for his birthday present, which was a little gift card, and he loved it. So here I went ahead and cut the Scallop Treat Box from some knock-on wood paper, which I love for this because it gives that kind of wood grain look. I went ahead and folded along all the score lines and then added my nice strong tape just like we did before. Now for the siding here, we're going to get really creative and use different colors. So this is some really rainbow paper. And now here's some Watercolor Wishes paper in that turquoise color. We're going to cut both the roof and some siding from that color as well. And then we're also going to cut some from the Perfectly Plaid Spring. We're going to cut some yellow. So once again, we're going to cut that siding right through of that yellow. Then to add a little dimension to all of these pieces and just kind of a cool weathered look, we're going to take some walnut ink and a foam ink blending tool, and we're going to add some ink to the edges. There's two ways to do this. You can kind of sponge it on directly onto your mat here and just kind of bring the color from out and then on, which gives you kind of a darker look. Or you can bring the color on by flicking the side with the foam. So I'm going to show you that next. So there's the darker version. And then here is a little bit more subtle, a little bit lighter. So I'm just flicking the edges with that foam and then just adding that nice detail to it so that it's really going to look like siding. And either way of these methods work. It just depends on what kind of detail you want. I kind of like the idea of even alternating the methods so that some are darker and some are lighter to give some really cool variation. I'm going to repeat the same thing for the roofs of the house as well, and then I'm going to do it for all of my siding pieces. Now today we're recreating this awesome doghouse by Lynette, so thank you so much Lynette for letting us recreate this for this video because I love these colors together. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line up our piece with the bottom edge of the box. Then we're going to take a look at that little emboss line guide, and we're going to line up our other piece on top of that. And then we're going to keep layering all of our pieces onto our box on both the long side and the short side. I just love how it looks with the alternating colors and then the alternating patterns of the pattern paper and then that kind of brown inked edge all the way around. It looks like an old weathered doghouse, and I just love it so much. So now that I've got everything all decorated, I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side of my box. So now I've got two that look exactly the same. And then I'm going to die cut a bunch of the pieces there from some white cardstock. So this is the little ball. And once again, I'm just going to lightly sponge the edges of the ball because I want it to look like an old baseball. The other thing I'm going to do that I thought was so clever that Lynette did is I'm just going to take a regular old red ballpoint pen and I'm just going to color in those stitching lines so it looks even more like a baseball. You could do this ball in yellow with some white gel pen, and that would make it look like a tennis ball, which is kind of fun. Now next up, I loved how Lynette took this little dog here and added some detail on him. So he would be really cute, cut from some brown cardstock, would be adorable, but I love how she added some spots. So I'm taking my pencil and just kind of freehand drawing some spots all around the dog, and then I'm going to take an N7 marker and color it in. I decided to draw the pencil lines because I was a little too nervous to just start with my marker. I didn't want to make a mistake. So once I colored over those pencil lines with the marker, you couldn't see them at all. And I think it's looking so, so cute. So I wanted to give his eyes and some nose some black color. So I just trimmed down a little scrap piece of black cardstock that I had. And then I'll just add a little glue with my glue tube around his eyes and nose and glue that back black piece of cardstock right to the back. And you'll see now that he's got a cute little black nose, which is adorable. Here I'm going to take the little bow tie in the set and cut that from some really rainbow paper. And I'm also going to cut the bowl from some Watercolor Wishes paper that matches the siding of the house. And I went ahead and inked all of those edges in the same way with my foam ink blending tool. I added a little glue there to the little bow tie and gave it to the dog. And then here you can see that that dog-shaped tag works perfectly with our tiny tag sayings, which is awesome. So you could use any of those sayings, but in this case I decided to do the to and the from, and I colored the little heart in with a red marker. Now we're going to build the Scallop Treat Box just like we always do. So we're going to attach the two pieces together in a T shape just like this. And then we're going to attach all of the sides so that everything lines up and we form our cute little doghouse. I'm going to close up the box so that we can decorate the outside. And the first thing we need to do is add the roof. And I love this little roof. I think it's so cute. So we're going to add that on with some adhesive just on the back. And of course, we've got some inked edges on the roof as well so that everything kind of matches and goes together. And then next we'll start decorating the front of the box. So in this case, I'm going to be decorating the longer side of the box. So I love that you can get kind of two different looks for this. And I'm spelling out the name Jax because that's the dog that I kind of colored my little dog cut out to look like was Kristen's dog, Jax. So we're going to add that little bone right on top. And you could put any name there. So you could put the person's dog's name on there or even the person that the present is for, which I think would be really, really cute too. I'm adding on my little ball and my dog with some foam squares. And same thing here, I'm putting something with foam squares and some things with just some glue dots, just to kind of mix and match and get some nice dimension. So it looks like the bones are kind of, one is behind the other and the ball's kind of sticking out, which is really cute. And then on the other side of the box, I'm going to tuck that little bone there into the bowl and then layer that onto the box as well. We'll add one more bone on there, and then I'm going to take some lemon lawn trimmings, and we're going to tie that through that cute little tag, which I can't wait to use on a lot of different gifts and presents. And then I'm just going to tie that into a knot and then into a bow. And I think these just turn out so cute. They're perfect for people who love dogs, for little kids, and then of course for little puppy presents and things like that as well. My brother just got a new dog, Tate, so I think I might have to make him one of these cute little boxes. And isn't that just adorable? I just love it so much. And then here I'm going to pull out the one that Lynette in the office here made. And so you'll see how I kind of recreated her idea. She used the name Scamp there instead. So you can really kind of have fun and kind of change up the name that you put on your box, which is so adorable. Now, next up, we have some really awesome cards by the design team, and they got really, really clever. So here, I just love this one by Kay and how she used some red paper and some nice striped paper at the top to add some beautiful details. Audrey used the pieces from the set but created a card front with it, which I thought was so cool, especially with that stitched wood grain backdrop. I love this one by Anne, how she layered the red pattern paper on there. It's so adorable. And then here I love how Elena added those little silver markings there to look like their little nails going into the doghouse, holding those planks up. Here's another cute card by Elise where she created a card front with all of the die cut pieces. So I love that you can create dog houses like this adorable one by Lynette, or you could create card fronts with these as well. I love how Lizzie used some wood grain paper and some nice inking to create a card front too. And then here's one where I used different alternating colors of gray and a little brown dog, which I thought was just adorable. And then Nancy created this adorable look by using her stitched wood grain die there to create some really cool texture. So I cannot wait to see your dog houses, so make sure to share them with us. Thank you so much for watching today and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!